Greetings, everyone. Master Grogan here, ready to rock your world with another exciting Kickin'Life podcast. Hey, as you know, we talk about it a lot. Not if, but when the world kicks your butt, I'm here to motivate, inspire, and kick your butt back up. And that's the whole essence of the Kickin'Life podcast, to help you live your best kickin' life. So buckle up, here we go. Hey, Kickin'Lifers out there, how we doing today? Happy New Year to you. Hopefully your 2019's off to a super duper terrific, wonderful, awesome start. And if it's not, listen to this show. It's going to be the kick in the butt you need to get it going. Well, of course, Master Grogan coming at you live here with the Kickin'Life podcast. And you know, our goal, my mission, my purpose, and not just mine, but everybody I'm working with, is to empower you, talking specifically to you, empower you to become your absolute very, very, very best, your personal best, and whatever that is, whatever capacity that is. And of course, you can achieve a lot more by being positive than you can by being negative. And there's a saying by Zig Ziglar, and he talks about, can you achieve anything and everything by being positive? And the answer is no. I know that's kind of a right hook of reality. Whoa, wait a minute, what? But you can achieve a heck of a lot more being positive than you can being negative. Because being negative, your chances of success are not very good. Well, wait a minute, I'm going to back up. Your chance of success of being negative and living a negative life are pretty good. But that's probably not what you want, especially if you're listening to this show. So first things first, folks, thank you so very much for always continuing to do the downloads, the shares, the messages, and the reviews. Our show is growing and growing and growing, and that's because of you, and I am so very grateful. I'm so very humbled to be able to come to you and talk to you and share these messages with you, and I'm even more grateful that you take time out of your busy day to listen to the messages, to listen to the show, to share the show with your friends, to continuously download the show, because without that, I mean, I'm just talking into a microphone. But because of your feedback, it touches my heart, and it inspires me to keep working as hard as I can, because I know how valuable time is. And you're taking time out of your day. You're essentially giving me a piece of your life. I promise you, I'm going to do everything I can to continue doing as much research as I can, continue reading and researching and going to different conferences and events and surrounding myself with, successful people that are so far beyond where I'm at. But I know I'm getting there, because when you surround yourself with people of success, they're going to pull you up. Same being said, if you surround yourself with people, that aren't very successful due to negativity, they're going to pull you down. And get a little tease coming up on a future show. I'm going to talk about a ship doesn't sink because of the water around it. A ship sinks because of the water in it. So that'll be coming up on a future show. So be listening for that one. Today, what we're going to focus on, and this is episode number 112. That's 112. Holy smokes! And big thank you again for being here with us. And if you haven't listened to previous shows, make sure you get back and listen to some of those babies. Man, oh man, we record 2 a week. We've got the longer show, which is this one right here, that airs on Mondays, and the shorter show that airs on Friday. It's kind of a little quick hit for the weekend, just to give you that quick boost of energy, that kick in the tail you need to not only get you through the weekend, but to carry you through to have the best weekend, not just kind of, oh my gosh, thank God it's the weekend. Yeah, that's good, but I want you to enjoy that weekend, come back to work and say, maybe you may not be super excited to get back to work, but you know that you spent that weekend with the family. You spent that weekend doing something special. And because, the weekends are far and few in between, right? I know. So anyway, back to today's show. And today's show, we're going to talk about, because it's a brand new year, 2019. Who would have thunked it, right? 2019, holy shnikes. But today's show is Run the Day or the Day Runs You. So we're going to talk about goal setting. And a little thing actually we put outside on our sign, and it's our message of the week at the Academy this week, is the goals you set are the goals you get. But you have to set those goals, and then, of course, you have to have the plan of the day in order to achieve those goals. Something I was talking to producer Brian about before the show started. He had a goal to lose 100 pounds before Christmas, and he hit it. Boom! Why? He planned his day out. He did not let the day run him. He ran the day. Every single one of his meals were planned out every day, every week, and for the month, and he did it. But he's also shared with me that's not his end-all, be-all. That's not where he's stopping. That's just a win, if you will, a win in the season or a win in the playoffs. He's got a lot more to go to reach that championship, and that's where he's going. And I have the utmost respect for Brian, what he's doing, and what he's accomplished. And he's even started his own podcast, which is fantastic, on his journeys and his travels of his weight loss and getting in better shape, better health for himself, and most importantly for his family. But he started that goal before, I guess it was about July, so he would have that momentum going into the new year, and he's carried it on and is just doing a wonderful job. So, Brian, I love you, man. Great job, great work. Special shout-out to you. Keep up the good work. Listeners at home, listeners that listen on your car and your radio, wherever you're listening, hey, run the day or the day runs you. Plan it out. Now, easier said than done? Yeah, of course it is. Everything in life is easier said than done. So that's one thing for the new year. Throw that phrase out. And another future show, I've got most of it wrote out, is phrases to throw out for the new year. And that's one of them, baby. Easier said than done. Well, easy for you to say. Get that nonsense out of your head. When that thought creeps up in your head, do not let it come out. Throw it out and say, I'm better than that. I'm not going to sit back and make an excuse saying easier said than done. And I promise those subtle little changes are going to mean so much. Why? Because you're not allowing those excuses to creep in. And worse, you're not justifying your reason for lack of success or reason for not being where you want with an excuse. You're saying, no, this is my fault. I'm accountable for me. That way, when you do reach your goals and you do reach the success that you want, when you do what Brian's done, lost 100 pounds and is going to continue on, it's you that you did it. So celebrate, man. That was me, baby. I'm the one that did it. But of course, you can't have one without the other. You can't blame somebody else for your lack of success or your downfalls, and then I shouldn't say blame, but reward yourself for your successes. It's both. You're responsible both ways. You know that. I've talked about that countless times on other shows. So back to what we're talking about today. Run the day or the day runs you, and goal setting for the best year ever for 2019. Now, before I kind of dive into a few things I've got wrote out here, I got to tell you, last night at the studio, I got to teach a few classes, which was awesome, actually 4 or 5. It's been a while since I've taught a whole night of classes, simply because the way we've got it now, I've got the instructors that handle most of that, and I work with them, and out giving speeches and doing the podcast and writing my book and doing other avenues of trying to empower more and more people outside the academy, because my goal is not just to empower the students at the academy, but is to empower our society, our community, our society, our world. That's another goal. I'd love to travel around to different countries and be able to impact others with the speech of, look, let's collectively work together here to make things better for future generations. Let's empower these kids so we're leaving a legacy, but these kids, our future leaders, are going to be better leaders than maybe some of the people we have leading today. And that's the goal. But anyway, last night I'm always a goofball with the kids. I'd said, all right, kids, it's a brand new year. What year is it? And the kids, all yelling out, 2019. And I'd say, 2009? No. I'd say, 1999. No. Well, what year is it? 2019. I go, oh my gosh. And then I reflected back. That's just me being goofy. And most of our listeners, you can relate to this. That song that came out in like 1982, 1983, Party Like It's 1999. Remember that one? Yeah, Party Like It's 1999. I think I was in, goodness gracious, 6th or 7th grade when that came out. And it was in the early 80s. And I'm thinking, at the time I heard that song, 1999, my gosh, that's a lifetime from now. Boy, what's going to happen then? I'll probably have a spaceship, or, who knows what's going to be going on. Obviously, you think about the vision of a kid at a young age there, and you hear of a song, Party Like It's 1999. Man, that's so far out. Well, now think about it. It's 2019. So as far out as 1999 was in the early 80s, man, oh man, that has come and gone, which, think about the Y2K thing. Right, 1999, the whole world's going to shut down. Holy cow, what are you going to do? Everybody's buying out, bottles of water and extra things of milk and this and that because we're going to have a nuclear meltdown or whatever nonsense the media was cramming down our throat. And, of course, it came and went. And here we are. in 2019, 20 years later, folks. Holy smokes. So my point with that is, it came up, I was actually even driving in today, a song came on AC/DC, Who Made Who? And I'm singing that song, and of course that brought me way back to when that song first came out. And it's amazing how certain thoughts have been, not only planted in your brain, but certain triggers, like a song you hear, or a person you see, or a post you see, or a picture you see. Any of those things bring up different thoughts, different memories that have been etched into your mind. Now, you don't think about them every single day, but it's a beauty of one thing brings it up, and you automatically kind of go down memory lane. Now, some of those thoughts, I get it, are painful. Yeah, some of those aren't the best. And unfortunately, we don't have any control on when those pop up. My point is, with all of this, I want you today to start planting the seeds. And you hear me talk about planting seeds a lot, because fundamentally that's life, right? I mean, that's what you sow is what you're going to reap. What you plant in the ground is what you're going to get. So my point with this is, in the next year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, I want you to start planting the seeds today. So when you hear a song, when you see a picture, when you have a memory of years gone by, it's something that makes you smile. It's something that makes you feel good. Now, of course, we don't have a lot of control on a lot of things that go on outside of us. And unfortunately, a lot of the outside influences sometimes leak in, right? They get in our mind, and they plant negative seeds, or they plant weeds in our garden. My thing to you is, the more you do to plant the right seeds, the more you do to till that garden, so to speak, to keep the weeds out, the more you do to add positivity, the more you inject positive, good thoughts into your mind. And how do you do that? You do that by separating yourself from a lot of people maybe you surrounded yourself with that aren't the most positive people in the world. And that leads right into our quote for the day from Napoleon Hill. And Napoleon Hill, it says, "The individual who has time only for gossip and slander is too busy for success." I'll read it again. The individual who, I can't, skipped over it again. All right, folks, I'm doing this. I'm putting my glasses on. I tried to do it without, and I skipped the line. The individual who has time only for gossip and slander is too busy for success. And Napoleon Hill goes on to say, each of us has a finite amount of time, energy, and money. You must choose for yourself how you will spend them. If you elect to squander your resources by demeaning others in an attempt to advance your own interest, you will soon find that so much of your time, energy has been spent on gossip and slander that you have little time left for yourself. If you deal in malicious information, you rarely can be trusted. As the saying goes, now listen to this, folks, this is the big one. Those who talk about others to you will also talk about you to others. Think about that. So if you're surrounding yourself with people that do nothing but, gossip and slander others, and they're talking to you about that, you can bet that they're talking about others, or talking about you to others. That's just how it works. So we're only given so much time. You hear me talk about that all the time. The most sacred commodity, the most sacred resource, the most valuable thing that we have is our time. And we're all given the same amount of time. It doesn't matter if you're a poor homeless person that doesn't have much of anything, or you're Warren Buffett or Bill Gates, one of the richest men in the world. We all are gifted with 24 hours a day, 1,440 minutes, or 86,400 seconds. We're all given the same amount each and every day, and we can't carry it over. So tomorrow, after you're done listening to this, you've went to bed and you get up tomorrow, it's a brand new, fresh start. Be blessed. Be grateful that you have an opportunity to live another day, instead of saying, oh man, just another day. Well, you know what? The problem with that, not only is it negative, and not only does it bring you down, make you feel bad, but just another day. That's one less day you have to live, regardless who you are, regardless how young or how old you are. You have one less day to live on this planet. Make the most of it. Now, is it easy? No, of course not. Easier said than done? Yes, but remember, that thought pops in your head, easier said than done. You're kicking that baby out. Because, back to the title of this podcast, we are going to run the day, not let the day run us. Okay? And it all starts off with simple little daily disciplines. You hear me talk about these things all the time. but you have to write them down. You have to plan the day. You have to spend that few minutes to write out what you're going to do, just like Brian did. He planned out what he was going to eat. So when it came time, when he was hungry, he didn't have to try and say, you know what, boy, I probably should eat this, but I don't know. My willpower is not very strong right now. I'm just going to go ahead and eat this. I know it's not good for me, but I'm going to. How many times do we do that? I've been very guilty of doing that. But if you plan it out, that little bit of time it takes, you don't have to think about it. I plan this. This is what I'm doing. So I like going to the gym. And I know New Year's resolutions, everyone's going to get in great shape. Everyone's going to do it right. And that's great. I love that. But do more than just say it. Write it down and then look at it every day and then give yourself a reward for doing it. Then also smack yourself around as a little bit of discipline for not doing it. But if it's written down and reflect on it, and I'm going to talk about a book that I just recently got. It's a planner. And listen, folks, I've gone through, my gosh, I could spend the whole year talking about all the different planners I've went through and the Run Your Day and the Success Planners and the, I guess, my daily schedule. I just redid it again because it just, it's you do it, but then you apply it. And if it's just not working, you can just say, oh, well, I guess it's never going to work for me. Or you can say, no, I am committed. I'm doing this thing. And you keep changing it up till you find the one that works for you. And there's no perfect formula for everybody. You know, what works for me isn't always going to work for you. But one thing that is, I shouldn't say it's a given, but one thing that is for sure, if you do not plan your day, if you do not plan your events, if you do not plan your purpose, then the day is going to run you. That's all there is to it. Plan it out. Don't just kind of wing it. Because winging it, just another day. And here it is going to be, right now, it's start of 2019, a fresh start, baby. Let's do this thing. But as we know, before we know it's going to be February, and then March, and then April, and June, July, May, June, July, missed a month there, all the way through. And then we're going to be saying, hey, Happy New Year, 2020. Can you believe it? And it's going to be, what did you accomplish in that year? Little bitty steps. And think about this, folks. If you accomplish just one thing a day, one thing, that's not, come on, one. But you got to plan it. You can't just, I guess if one thing moving toward a goal you set for yourself, I should probably say that. But one success, one thing moving toward a goal you have set, a goal you have written down. One a day, what is that? That's 7 a week. That's roughly 30 a month. Yeah, think about that. You go into quarters, every 3 months. That's 90. Yeah, think about that. 90 steps toward your goal. At the end of the year, what do you got? 365 steps toward your goal. Now, if you took 365 steps toward any goal, if your goal is to, think about this, to climb Mount Everest. I know that's far and few. That's not a goal for a lot of folks. That's not a goal for me, but maybe somebody out there, I'm just using that as an example because, that's up there, right, baby? 365 steps. Wow, and that's just one step a day. Think about how much further along you would be. Think about, if your goal is to lose 1 pound a day, well, hopefully by the end of the year, that probably wouldn't be too good, right? I don't know. If you weigh, I guess, 400 pounds, that's not even good. That was maybe not a good example, but you see my point. I'll back that up to a month. If you lose 1 pound a day in a month, you could essentially lose 30 pounds. Now, that would be tough, but you've broken it down into smaller steps, which gets into what I'm going to talk about next, about setting your goals. Set your goal, the big goal, end of the year goal. And this is something I've done. This is something I've shared with others, and this is what's worked with me. Now, doesn't mean it's always going to work with you, but it's at least something to get the ball rolling. You set your big goal for the end of the year, whatever that may be. Maybe you want to increase your finances. Maybe you want to make $10,000 more this year than you made last year. Maybe you want to read 20 books this year, or maybe 22, maybe you want to read 10 books this year. Okay? Maybe you're wanting to go back to school to get another degree to enhance your career. Maybe you're wanting to have a kid. Maybe you're wanting to lose 30 pounds. Maybe you're wanting to get in better physical shape. Maybe you want to bench press more. Maybe you want to start playing on a softball league. Maybe you want to spend more time with your kids. Anything. Just start writing them down. And here's the crazy thing about when pen meets paper. You may think in your mind, I only got 1 or 2 goals. But once pen hits paper, you sit down and you start writing things out, you're going to be amazed and what starts flowing in your mind and what starts automatically almost, right, appearing on the paper. It's like, holy smokes, I only thought I had one or two things. Look at this. I got 3 pages full of stuff. Yes. Now, of course, that can be awfully intimidating, too. You could probably say, holy cow, I'm never going to get all this stuff. No. You think about how wonderful that is that you have written these things down and think, I can accomplish this. That's the big goal. That's the one that's way out there. You accomplish that, baby, wow. So what do you do next? You take that year goal and you break it down. You break it down into 9 months. What am I going to accomplish in 9 months? Then you break it down into 6 months. What am I going to accomplish in 6 months? Then you break it down even further, 3 months. What am I going to accomplish in 3 months? And then 2, and then 1, and then you break it down even further, 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week. And what am I going to accomplish today that's going to get me a step closer to reaching that goal at the end of the year? Remember, 1 step a day. But that's how you do it. You set that big goal, and then you work your way backwards. 9 months, 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, and then break it down 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week, today, tomorrow, the next day, and stay committed to it. But don't overdo it. You're not going to lose 30 pounds in one day. 30 pounds in a month is an awful big stretch, especially maybe your goal is to lose 30 pounds by summertime. That's probably a more realistic goal. Therefore, you can take strides. But don't wait until June 1st to get on your weight loss program, okay? Start it now. Remember, 1 step at a time. And I've got a great thing that I just posted on my page the other day, and I'm going to read it to you. It's all about what we're talking about here. A dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan. A plan backed by action becomes a reality. I'll say it again, and it's on my page there if you want to go on my Kickin'Life with Master Grogan Facebook page. It's also on our Instagram page, which is the same title, Kickin'Life Master Grogan. Grab this thing, share it, print it out, post it up on your board, or just put it on your phone as your screensaver. A dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan. A plan backed by action becomes a reality. Bang! How's that for a right hook of reality? Here you go. And just a reminder, anything I post on my page is there. Please like, comment, share to your page. Save it as a picture, print it out. Anything that's going to help motivate and move you along. That's the goal. Because my goal, I want to share the knowledge that I'm obtaining and continuously obtaining with you. And I share. I can't believe it's been, goodness gracious, this will be 2019. Yeah, I'm carrying the two. 2012 is when I was first introduced to Zig Ziglar. And I was introduced to him after he passed away. And he's like, how were you introduced to him after he passed away? Well, it's because a webinar I was listening to. This lady, Miss Melody Schumann, which has become a great, great friend over the years. And I never met her before, but I was watching this webinar, and she mentioned today's a sad day because of the passing of Zig Ziglar. And then she kept referencing Zig Ziglar quotes. I'm like, man, I got to check this guy out. And I had never heard of him before. How had I never heard of him before? Because the group of influence, the people I was surrounding myself with, never talked about reading, never talked about positivity, never talked about, different influences. Well, once again, and it just so happens those same folks were the little quote I'd read earlier from Napoleon Hill about, the individuals who only have time for gossip and slander are too busy for success. Well, that's true. And I was right a part of that. I always wanted more. I always knew I could do more, but yet my group of influence was pulling me down. Anyway, I've talked about that a lot, but maybe that's worth repeating for you folks out there to make that change, because the time is going to come and go. I mean, that's been 7 years now. I can't even believe that. I had to do my math again. 2019, 2012. That's 7, isn't it, folks? Yeah. Holy cow. But anyway, I had no idea, but the time has come and gone. And one of my favorite quotes of all times is from Charlie Tremendous Jones. And he says, and this is a great, great, great one for what I'm talking about now, for your goal planning, for successes. Now, I know we only talked about a year, but what you can do is you can turn that, the year is kind of the easiest way. Set it for a year and then back it up. Well, let's go a step further. Let's set a 3-year goal, a 5-year goal, a 10-year goal. You're probably thinking, man, that's getting tough. Well, yeah. But if you want to stand out from the crowd, if you really want to achieve those things, set that 10-year goal and then back that baby up to 5 years. This is what I'm going to accomplish by the 5th year on my way toward my 10-year goal. Then back it up to 3 years. This is what I'm going to accomplish by 3 years from now to reach my 5-year goal. And then, of course, you can back it up to 2 years, 1 year. And then we've already talked about the 1 year of, it's worth repeating again. Back it up 1 year, 9 months, 6 months, 3 months, and then back it on down, all the way down to day one. They all say, man, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of planning. But it gets back to the title of this thing. Run the day, or the day will run you. That is a guarantee. If you don't have it planned out. And a great example, once again, a little shout out to Brian, producer Brian. Good job, buddy. He planned out his meals. When it came time to doing it, there were no ifs, ands. Now, he said, yeah, boy, oh boy, I really wanted this. But I wrote it down. I took the time to write it down, and that's something about that. You take the time to write it down. You spent that time, that energy. I mean, you're more apt to do it because you actually wrote it down. And just like the quote we just read about a dream doesn't become a goal until you write it down and then take the actionable steps to make it a reality. So anyway, I got sidetracked there. The quote from Charlie Tremendous Jones is this: the only difference between the person you are today and the person you'll be in 5 years are the books you read and the people you surround yourself with, the people you meet. The only difference are the books you read and the people you meet. And I am absolutely 100% living proof of that. 2012, not probably. I cannot tell you when the last time prior to 2012 that I had actually read a book or that I'd listened to, I had no idea who Zig Ziglar was. I had no idea who Jim Rohn was. I had no idea who Chris Widener was, Larry Wignet, and Brian Tracy, Jack Canfield, Harv T. Aker, Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins, which is she's a rock star. I'm part of another one of her groups. She wrote the book, The 5-Second Rule. Just a wonderful lady. That's good stuff. That's another book I recommend to everybody. The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. It's not that 5 second you drop something on the floor and you got 5 seconds to eat it. It's all about making decisions within 5 seconds of them being brought up in your mind. So great book there. But anyway, and then Lewis Hose, I just met him at a conference I went to, and we've made a strong connection. All these things have led into that. And, Benji Molina has become a good, close personal friend. It's the brother of Yadier Molina. Those in St. Louis know who Yadi is. He's the Cardinals, right? Not only one of the best Cardinal catchers, but probably one of the best catchers in the whole game of baseball. But by doing these things, I'm going to throw one more at you. Todd Stottlemyre, I spoke with him just the other day. He's going to be on the podcast in a couple weeks. Fantastic. He was a former Cardinal pitcher. Now he's a spiritual leader, praises God and talks about his book, Relentless, all about not giving up and battling through. But my point of saying all these names is I had no idea who any of these folks were 7 years ago. But by reading, and in these past 7 years, the 7th year is just starting, so I guess 6 years in the books here. I've got 306 books in my Audible account that I've gone through, and a good majority of those I've listened to more than once. And my library of books has grown and grown and grown. And from a guy that didn't know he could read, simply because I chose not to, has now read darn near 200 books while listening to over 300 books in my Audible account, and many of those, several times, along with listening to podcasts. 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago, I had no idea what a podcast was. Now I've got a podcast, and we're recording our 112th episode. That's crazy. But it's those little steps. It's what you put in your mind. And back to the quote by Charlie Tremendous Jones, the only difference between the person you are today and the person you'll be in 5 years are the books you read and the people you meet, and then the people you obviously surround yourself with. And I am 100% living proof of that. Now, I always often have naysayers say, yeah, but what if I die in 3 years? Then what good is it? Well, here's the guarantee. The time is going to come and go. And if for some reason it doesn't, you got nothing to worry about anyway, right? Yeah. But let's hope that you're going to be alive for another 3 years, another 5 years, another 10 years. So let's start planning now so those 3, 5, 10 years are the best years of your life. It's not just another one of those days, another one of those years. I guess this is all I'm meant to do. If that's your attitude, that's all you're going to be meant to do. There's a right hook of reality. Yeah. I don't sugarcoat that stuff because that's just giving up. You're better than that. You hear me talk about that all the time. It's one of my favorite Rocky things. You're better than that. Because you are. You are gifted with a God-given purpose that no one else in this world possesses. Use that gift. Use it. Run the day. Do not let the day run you. Is it easy? No. Can you do it? Yes. And a lot of times people say, I know what to do. I know it's easy to do. But gosh darn it, it's so easy not to do. And that's the reality of things. That is. There are so many days I get up, and I've often shared this, and I'm going to continue sharing it more and more and more. I didn't used to share because I was, I'm supposed to be a martial arts guy, invincible to pain, and I've got no flaws, and I've got no faults, and I've got no problems. That's a bunch of crap. That's all that is. I'm telling you right out. I'm a human being. I deal with my anxieties. I deal with my depression. I deal with an overwhelming amount of stress. But I'm telling you this, it's gotten better over the years by me praying more, going to church more, being more open, sharing my weaknesses with others, because I see the emotional and spiritual, psychological impact it has on them. They're thinking, oh, wow, so I'm not that bad off. No, I have no idea what your problems are. You have no idea what my problems are. All I can do is I want to share what I'm going through, but not whine and complain. That's not it. And definitely not talking about others, and definitely not comparing myself to others. I have no idea the battles that others are fighting. None of us realize the battles others are fighting. We know our own battles. Let's work on them to be our very, very best. And how can we be our very, very best? Get back to what we talked about. Run the day. To be your best. To be at your best to help others become their very best. And that's something I've shared on countless podcasts in the past. One of my mentors, and it was, goodness gracious, almost a year ago now. See how fast time flies, folks? He gave me a right hook of reality. Now, the mentor I'm talking about is Hunchi. It was Kiyoshi, but now he just got promoted. It's Hunchi Dave Kovar. Love the man. He's a beautiful, beautiful person inside and out, and he's been such an instrumental part of my life and my growth. And I met him in 2012, and it's just been, the time is gone. I mean, I can't believe it's been 7 years, or it will be 7 years now since I first met him. But it's been an instrumental part. But anyway, last year, I can't believe it was a year ago, like I said, but boom, he shared a right hook of reality with me. Now, he said it in a more eloquent manner, but this is the way I received it, this is the way I heard it, and this is the way I needed to receive it and hear it. Just like, I'm speaking to you, and everybody's going to interpret what I'm saying in a different way. And my goal is that it impacts you in a way that not only helps you live your best kick in life, become your personal best, but it's a way that gives you that kickstart you need, that kick in the butt you need. And no, I'm speaking from the heart here, folks. And what's the old saying? He who is offended by everything, or he or she who is offended by everything is a person that isn't going to live life, because everything, I'm offended. And we're in a society, unfortunately, of where everybody's offended by everything. Come on. I'm speaking from the heart here. And yes, there's some yucky people out there. And yes, there's some people out there that have nothing better to do but try and offend you. Don't let it in. Like I mentioned, I got a podcast already written out for a one that's coming up soon here, and it's all about a ship. Ship doesn't sink because of the water around it. A ship sinks because of the water in it. So don't let people that are trying to be offensive, don't take it personally. Don't let that water get inside you, and then you're fighting a battle you don't need to fight. Have that as a goal for the new year. Keep that stuff out. Quit being offended. Bang, right hook, right? So anyway, what did Kovar say to me? He said, and like I said, he said it more elegant than this, but this is how I heard it, and I needed to hear it this way, and it really floored me. But he was 100% spot on. Now, I could have been, yeah, well, whatever, man. Who do you think you are? You don't know me. I could have been that way. Took offense to it. But I knew his heart was really trying to help me be my very, very best. And that's by being open to, and not necessarily criticism, but being open to someone who's trying to help you. Yeah. So here, I got my trolls and stuff out there. Unfortunately, I do. And they'll throw some yucky stuff at me. And I'm going to give you an example before I get to what Kovar said to me. I've got a teenage daughter, and those with teenage daughters, I love her more than anything. She is a wonderfully gifted, beautiful, beautiful girl. Matter of fact, there's on my Facebook page of her singing Mary, Did You Know? It's a Christian song. She sung this in front of the church, a whole packed house at the church. And, oh, my gosh, I often forget how talented she is. And, of course, every dad, every parent thinks that their daughter or their son is the most gifted on the planet. And that's good. We look through those rose-colored glasses. I get it. But, I mean, listen to the song. She rocked it out. And I'm like, man, oh, man. But she worked hard at it, and she's gotten better. But anyway, she's a teenage girl. And her and I butt heads more than I would like. I mean, we do. We just do, because that's I want what's best for her. I want her to be the very best she can be. I know that life can be troubling and tough, and going to kick your butt. As the Rocky saying goes, nothing in life, nothing hits harder. Oh, wait a minute. I can't even think of it. It's a quote that I end every speech with. Now I'm on the spot here. Nothing hits harder in life. It's not about how hard you can hit, but how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. It's about how much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. So she's heard that. She's got it memorized probably almost better than I do now. But she's still a teenage daughter, and I'm still a dad. So there's times when we butt heads. But this is what I've been saying to her, and it's been helping. I said, sweetheart, I love you. I tell her that every single day, multiple times a day. And I said, I know you don't understand, and I know you don't always agree with Dad, but just know that I love you, and how can you be upset with somebody who loves you, who's trying to help you? Now, that's a brain buster for her, because she, as of yet, has been able to come back with anything off of that. So that's my little secret there. Maybe I ought to do a whole show on dealing with teenagers and teenage daughters. But throw that at them. Say, I love you. All I care about is you being your very, very best. And how can you be angry or upset or mad at somebody who loves you? Wow. So that's what's been working for me. So please use that with your daughters or your teenagers, and see if that helps out. And leave me some feedback. Let me know what they say in return. Hopefully it'll stump your kids like it stumped mine. But she's wise. She's probably going to come up with something, so I'll have to change gears moving forward. But it's working now, and that's beautiful. So that's a goal for the new year, right? So back to what Dave Kovar said to me was this. Do you enjoy, now listen, this is a heavy hitter. Do you enjoy disrespecting those that you're meant to serve? And I'm like, whoa, man, dude. And of course, the fight or flight popped up. Like, man, I said, wow, I give everything I've got. Almost thinking, how can you say this? I give everything I've got. I said, I lose sleep. I'm constantly studying and traveling and doing research and this and that, and I'm constantly training and working hard, giving everybody as much time as I possibly can. And do I enjoy disrespecting them? I'm giving them everything I got. So, of course, I went into defense mode. And he goes, oh, no, I know you give everything you've got. That's not the problem. The problem is you've only got 50% to give. So even though you're giving everything you've got, you're giving 100% of 50%. So what are you really giving people? 50%. Because 100% of 50% is still 50%. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. What do you mean? He goes, and this is where the big right hook came in. He goes, when's the last time you had more than 6 hours of sleep? When's the last time you really completely shut down and meditated and relaxed and calmed your mind? When's the last time you got on a serious workout program that was consistent day in and day out? When's the last time you actually did, consistent training in what you love, the martial arts? When's the last time you really, as I'm telling you today, run the day? When's the last time you planned out your meals, your nutrition? And he just went on and on this. When's the last time? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know when's the last time I had more than 6 hours sleep. I don't know when's the last time I, planned out my meals. I don't know when's the last time I was on. This was, like I said, a year ago. And the truth be told, I'm going to share this with you folks. I'd let a lot of things slip and slide. In my attempt to help serve others the very best I can, I was disservicing or disrespecting myself. I actually got up to 199 pounds. I know for a lot of men that's not, whatever. For me, I'm 5'7", maybe and a half, if I stand on my tiptoes. I've never weighed that much in my life. Never. And I made it, once I had that, got on that scale and said 199. I made a commitment. I am not letting this thing go to a deuce. I'm not going to 200. And slowly but surely, I started planning things out. Now, I've always done that, but I had fallen off. I had truly fallen off in my attempt to be the best I could to help serve others. I was disservicing and disrespecting myself. I share that with you because all these things we talk about running the day, running the day, running the week, running the month, running the year is going to help you be your very best, and you're going to be at your best when helping others. It was a right hook of reality I needed. I was given all I got, all I had, but only having 50% to give, that's all I was given. And in the midst of that, I was running myself down. So take care of yourself in order to be your best to help take care of others, especially if you got a family. Because if you're not your best, you're not going to be the best. I'm not going to be the best husband if I'm not at my best. I'm not going to be the best dad if I'm not at my best. I'm not going to be the best podcast host. I'm not going to be the best speaker. I'm not going to be the best author. I'm not going to be the best entrepreneur, martial arts instructor. Yeah, I'm not going to be my best. You're not going to be your best at being the best spouse or the best parent or the best student or the best child or the best employee if you're not your best. And that gets right back to the whole essence of this whole entire, the podcast in general, living your best kicking life. Kind of my purpose and mission in life is to share that with you. But the show, run the day or the day runs you. Set those goals. Bang. I like that. Was that good? I always love your comments and feedback. And know that video blogs, I'm going to start doing more and more and more of these. Matter of fact, I've written out one for every single day of the week. And I'm going to do a little quick hitter, 1 to 2 minutes, so I can try and keep the 1 minute before I can post to the Instagram page, because that page is continuing to develop more followers, which is great, but also the Facebook page. And the others, I'm really going to start pumping up our YouTube channel so you can listen to those at any time. The Facebook Lives, I'm going to keep doing those, but I may cut back and only do 2 to 3 a week on the Facebook Lives because those come and go. Where the YouTube channel, they're there any time for you to access. And, of course, they're there for Facebook, too, but, the Facebook feed gets filled up so quickly. And that was a suggestion and recommendation for another mentor that I'm working with on how to keep the message alive more in the listeners' and the viewers' eyes and minds by putting it on a channel that's going to be easier to access. So, anyway, that's what we're going to be doing with that. Wow. 40 minutes has come and gone, folks. Can you believe that? Just like 2018, poof, come and gone. Just like 1999, 20 years ago, poof, has come and gone. Well, as always, I promise you, I am going to continue doing everything I can, do as much research as I can to bring you the best material, the best content to help you live your best kicking life. But I also promise you this, and I'm saying this because I'm making this kind of public, and I want you to do the same. I'm going to continue doing the best I can for myself to be my very best so I can not disrespect you by only giving you 50%. I'm going to have 100% to give, and I promise I'm going to give you 100%. But I also promise my wife, my kids, my family, my fans, everybody, I'm going to be my best so I can give you my best. To be the best dad, to be the best husband, to be the best entrepreneur, to be the best martial arts instructor, to be the best writer, to be the best author, to be the best podcast host and speaker. Why? Because that's my gift, and I don't want to disrespect God. But also, I say this to you because I know you'll help hold me accountable, and I'm gonna do my best to hold you accountable by bringing these things to you. So, last little tidbit here: run the day or the day runs you, and surround yourself with the right type of people. Read the books, be the best you can, and make 2019 your absolute very, very best. And it all starts with counting your blessings, the blessings that you have right now. I'm telling you. We never know the battles other people are fighting, so be nice. But most importantly, be nice to yourself by respecting yourself, by making the right choices, by doing the right things, and that starts with plan the day, run the day. All right, folks, that's all I got for you today. Thank you so very much for taking time out of your busy day. You have shared part of your life with me by listening to this podcast. I'm going to continue to be as open as I can to share my life with you, to help you live your best kicking life, to help you become empowered to achieve and become your personal best. I love you. God loves you. Get out there and share that love with the world. And until we talk again, you get out there and do your best. And I promise you'll be your very best. God bless you. God bless your loved ones. I can't wait to chat with you again real soon. And until then, remember, run the day or the day runs you. Talk to you soon, folks. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening to another exciting Kickin'Life podcast. This is Master Rich Grogan, your Kickin'Life guru, reminding you can find our podcast online at Kickinlifepodcast.com or through iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, or wherever you get your podcast. Tune in next week. Another exciting show coming your way. In the meantime, you get out there and do what you do best, and I promise you'll be your very best. Have a blessed day, everybody. Talk to you real soon.